Welcome back to the Gary Comer podcast. We're here again today with Kevin C.A. and Michael Somerville, both second-time guests. Gentlemen, great to have you out back on the show. Why don't you introduce yourself once again?
Michael Somerville, it's good to be back.
Kevin C.A.
All right, gentlemen, like I said, great to have you guys back on the show. I'm sure the listeners are just as excited as well. Today we're going to be talking about a very important issue to both of these gentlemen. It's political correctness as it pertains to Gary Comer and the world that surrounds it.
Okay, to begin, I will start off with the basic definition of political correctness. And it basically says that it's policies and measures taken to make sure that no one is offended by anything so they won't lose votes. And I kind of have a problem with this because when you're politically correct, you're censoring yourself and censoring who you truly are in this world so you won't offend nobody. Like, say, for example, that you're on the college campus and somebody write a book about racism or rape or something. Of course, it'll offend a couple of people, but because it'll offend a couple of people, it gets banned or something. Now, that's just an extreme example. Like, we shouldn't censor ourselves or censor information just because it will offend someone. I believe that you should not be politically incorrect just to hurt, just to be mean or derogatory or anything. To be politically incorrect so you can get messages out there without trying to hurt anybody. Michael, something you want to say?
Yeah, I agree with you on that fact, because if we did not have things like this, then we'd be mostly in the dark. I mean, even though it is censored, we need to know this information, this knowledge, because this will be useful in the future. It may hurt some people, but it's not just to be offensive to them. It's mostly in order to help them to learn about how the world is, how to change, and how to be more respectful in some cases.
So Michael, I'd like to ask you a question. So in the news recently, well, mostly, Donald Trump is a well-known figure throughout America, and he is seen as a person that is politically incorrect. How do you feel about Donald Trump being politically incorrect?
I feel like that is completely accurate. It's like a dictatorship in my own opinion of him, and how he's rioting other people. I mean, if you go back to the news report of how this old man punched his younger black teen, it just shows that it's just what the people truly want.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I go ahead.
And again, it's like a dictatorship. Even though I see how people have some good opinions of him and how there may be some way he could change things, but honestly, I see Donald Trump as a rich man who's only doing this just to win. He ain't trying. By the time he become president, they're going to immediately try to impeach him out of the office.
Yeah. Another thing about being politically correct, people who are usually in politics, for example, people who are usually politically correct are kind of double-sided. Well, not kind of, but they be double-sided because they don't say how they actually feel about certain things. They say things to what people want to hear. So when they do get in office, you get a two-faced lying person who doesn't appeal to everyone a little bit. Yeah. But Hillary Clinton, she's been politically correct on a lot of issues.
She's also an example of both two-sided things.
How do you feel about Hillary Clinton? Well, how do you feel about Hillary Clinton?
Let's see how I feel about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had to choose, I would say of all the lesser two evils that she will be a better choice than Donald Trump. Sure, it may be some changes. It may be a little bit helpful and beneficial, but honestly, it'll be the better. She'd be like a better choice than Donald Trump himself. Even though I know Bernie Sanders, he had his own ideas. I think he would be a better cause if only he was not losing.
Final point about political correctness and political incorrect. It's best to be honest about how you feel about everything, but being derogatory or just intentionally trying to upset people, I won't say it's not acceptable, but you need to like realize or figure out what type of crowd you're in to like speak on certain issues, even if it offends someone. Like you still talk about, but if it's like information, like say like you do a piece on religion or something, and you say not derogatory or just things to get people heated, but you like bring evidence or you use evidence in the Bible, then refute it a little bit. That's more towards the way that you should lean a little bit, because just saying the religion is bad, blah blah, all these little things, it really wasn't like serve a purpose. It's just to start a fire. So if you're in an argument, be politically incorrect, but in a good way, so people can actually learn from what they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go back to Hillary Clinton's plan about the Chinese, how she's going to negotiate. It sounds like her plan is to take some of our people to go to Chinatown, and Chinatown to people being here. Although I'm like, that's a good idea for us to get rich, I also think it's a little bit unfair to the Chinatown people, because one, they're going to have to figure out how to get some jobs too. But what jobs can they get when we're like on the poor side, of course? Although even though it's going to be greatly beneficial for us, I think that's kind of a little bit unfair in some cases, because they're giving us a chance to help. If they do like accept this term, they're giving us a chance to help us out, but won't get nothing in return. Maybe unless it may be something that may happen to a later future, of course.
Yeah. All right, that's it for this edition of the Gary Coleman College Prep Podcast. We will see you later in the next time. Peace out.
Peace out.